spell of the season, John, where we'll kind of expect games to be called off and stuff. I imagine earlier in the season when you were meant to go to Wimbledon, you couldn't have imagined the reason for that postponement. I guess the world works in mysterious ways. Is it more welcome to be playing this game now than when it was originally scheduled, given the sort of run of form that you've been able to put together in the last few weeks?
Yeah, well, obviously hindsight's great, isn't it? So yeah, I would say yeah to that, Dan. But at the same time, as that when it should have been played might have been the turning point in our season. You just never know, do you? So that was meant to be. Obviously it was terrible what happened down there with the pitch and stuff. But it's all sorted now, and they're back playing there, which is great for them.
I'm interested in whether you think Wimbledon will see you differently now for the original fixture in terms of what you're doing. You obviously changed formation not too long ago. You've seen some success with that. Are your team a different proposition now?
I think we are, yeah. I think obviously because we got past that point where everyone thinks you're going to win a game, and everyone always wants to win the first games. It took us a few games to do that, which we've done that now. And yet, to answer your question, yeah, they probably will be looking at us a little bit differently.
Is that a good thing? We talked about expectation before the weekend. We talked about the way you are perceived. Do you think teams will see you as more of a serious threat now?
I think so, definitely, because you're winning games. So that comes with unbeaten runs and everything else. So everyone sits up and starts taking note. And more notice of you and what you're doing and how you're doing it and how you're going about it, whether that's a change of formation, change of personnel, whatever that is, change of anything on the training ground. So everyone is probably taking a little bit more notice, and more so your opponents that you're going to come up against next.
We've talked before about the way you approach games and how much you focus on opposition. Are you seeing opponents adapting the way that they play to try and deal with what your team are doing now? I
think teams do that anyway. So we look at them and look at their strengths, and we'll also try and capitalise on their weaknesses. So we're trying to exploit them areas. So I think, in my opinion, that the opposition would do that. That's what they have to do, don't they? So you have to find a way of trying to nullify and then obviously, hopefully, try and win a game to exploit their weaknesses.
Given what's happened with Wimbledon and the pitch and the games that they had to postpone, how impressive has their home form been? And I know they've lost a couple of games there recently, but generally this season they've been very strong at home.
Well, they have been very strong, Daniel. I've looked at that, I've researched that. I think they've lost against Brighton under 21s, which a changed team, by the way. And then they've lost against Grimsby, a good Grimsby team. So we've had a look at that game as well. So, but the home form has been really good, and it's another big challenge for us tomorrow.
What is it like going there to a relatively new stadium where Accrington in recent seasons have done pretty well?
Well, I've been part of that, so we've always done pretty well at Wimbledon, whichever way we've got there. Different ways, we've always tried different things, but it's always about the players. It's always about their attitude, the desire, the work rate, everything about, and then obviously the quality that they bring on the night, on the day. So we're going there with that mindset that it's going to be a good challenge for us, one that we're relishing, one that we're all up for, and one that we're looking forward to.
How much have they managed to replicate the kind of thing that you have here, where it's a relatively old ground that's been redeveloped, but you're close to the pitch and the fans are right on top of you? They've obviously got a new stadium. Do they still have that feel of it being a hostile, difficult place to go?
I think you could say that, yeah. But I mean, I enjoy going there because it is a close, tight-knit little stadium, similar to ours. I think ours is a little bit more closer, I think, to the pitch. But it's always a good atmosphere there. The fans are really good there. So, and we take the fans that we take, which is great. And ours, if they come in small numbers, you can hear them. That's for sure.
The knotty subject of games in hand. I know an incumbent of this job for a long time always used to say it's just an opportunity to get your goal difference damaged. How do you look at it? Do you look at this as an opportunity to catch up on those teams that are in front of you?
It is. That's exactly what it is, an opportunity. It's a game that we should have played. We didn't play. Now we're in a better moment, if you like, or a better period, whatever you want to say. And it's one that we want to go there. And if we win the game, that gets us up the league, great. If we don't win the game and we end up sitting where we are, if we get a point out of it, then we might move up again. So I haven't really looked at the league, but it's just another game where we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to the challenge. We've worked on certain things. We've seen certain things within the game. The opposition, what they pose, the threat they pose, and also where they leave themselves open. So we're looking forward to that challenge tomorrow.
It's 5 games unbeaten in all competitions. we talked at the weekend about what that does for belief and for confidence. If you're being pragmatic, winning one and losing one gets you more points in the league. Is there a balance to be struck there? Or are you happy to stay unbeaten even if it means, like at the weekend, taking a point instead of all three?
I think it's how you do it. If you just drawing all the time, you're getting, you're unbeaten. It's like you want to win, don't you? So it's always about winning. So I think I'd like to win more games and stay unbeaten. If you have to do it where you're winning one and you draw them one, then so be it. But I don't really look too much into your unbeaten. Obviously, yourself, you remind me of that, and one or two other people do. But as a team, we just look forward to the next challenge, which is Wimbledon, and that's the one. All that's in the past now. We've got the points we've got for it, and we're looking forward to getting, hopefully 3 points tomorrow night.
How much did your last away trip to Chesterfield set the template, set the blueprint for the way you want to play away from home and the results you want to get?
Well, that's it. That's exactly it. Because, we knew how Chesterfield played at the time. Well, not at the time, the way they play, the system they play, how they go about it. And we knew that we had to stop a very, very good Chesterfield team as individuals and as a team collectively. So we've done that. And, as I said, now you go to Wimbledon, that is the template, that's the levels, that's the standards that's required. And I think at any level to go and try and win a game of football.
How hard is it for the players, given the intensity of the way you're asking them to press, how hard you want them to work for 90 plus minutes, how hard is it to do it for 90 odd minutes on Saturday, travel to London and do it again on a Tuesday night? That's
the job, Dan. That is the job, and that's my job to remind the lads. That's it. It's an unbelievable job that they're all privileged to be footballers, and they know they only have to run round for 90 odd minutes, whatever that the ref puts up. The fourth official is in 94, 96, 99, whatever that is. And it's hard work, it's as simple as that. But if they do that and they put that hard work in and the fans appreciate that, then they'll get rewards. Sometimes you don't for all your good work that you've done, which we've done in the past. But it's nothing. It's like anything in life. I think you have to work hard at anything in life, your job, whatever that job is, and you get rewarded within that. But this is a football match. The lads know the standards, what you touched on before about the standards, the levels that they can get to. And it's mine and Jed's job to make sure that we keep them levels up there and we keep getting results.
You've spoken this season about being cautious around injuries and not taking risks over players. What's your approach to fatigue levels, to workload? Because you've got 5 subs available to you to bring on. You're not necessarily always using those. That must be a conscious choice.
It definitely is a conscious choice. So you look at it because sometimes it can upset the pattern, the rhythm of the game. So you're not going to just make substitutions for the sake of making substitutions. On Saturday you're winning the game 2-1, then they get an equaliser, so the momentum goes with them slightly. And then you're thinking to yourself, do you want to go and win it? Obviously we do. Thought we still could have won that with the personnel we had on the pitch. And I also thought we were defending well with the personnel that we had on the pitch. So it's a fine balance in terms of fatigue. We look after the lads after the game finishes, and it just comes back to your next game, making sure everyone's right, making sure everyone's tuned in, whether it's the lads that haven't come out off the bench and they're all focused and ready and waiting for their chance, like other players have in the past and have took them.
Would it be fair to say there are some areas of the squad where you've got loads of competition and you can interchange maybe 2 or 3 players, and as we talked about with the left wing back situation last week, maybe there are some areas where you don't have that depth? Is that a balance that you also have to strike?
Well, you have to, but there's also players we can sort of move around. So, in the past we've played James Keneally at centre-back or in the middle of a 3. So now you've got Ben Woods playing out, he's a midfielder playing wide left for us and he's doing really, really well. We've had Donald Love, who initially came in as a right back. He's ended up playing centre mid, he's ended up playing right back, he's ended up playing left back. So, Donald can play left side of a 3. He can play anywhere across the back 3, to be honest, Donald. So we have got that beauty of that. So and there is certain positions that are.
And with that versatility, Tyler Walton, for example, you're essentially playing as a centre forward now. How much is he growing into that role, and potentially how much better can he get?
Well, he can get better because every time you finish a game, everyone speaks about Tyler Walton. The opposition, the staff, they all say about how well he's done. Surprised where we've got him from, obviously from non-league football. So, but he's just going from strength to strength, Tyler. He scored goals, and the one that sticks out in my mind is the one he scored at Doncaster, getting in on the back post, which I thought was a great goal. And then, you know, you look at the one he scored against Chesterfield on Saturday. It was a great finish, playing through the middle, that is. The one he scored was at Doncaster, was playing in the wider area, coming in on the back post and scoring. So he's just getting, you know, better and better, and there is more in him, I think, personally.
If you don't have the depth of resources to sign, you know, 2 players for every position or carry a massive squad or whatever, how valuable is that versatility? You talk about Tyler there, obviously Donald Love, you said, can play a lot of positions. There are maybe 3 or 4 in this squad that probably can cover 2 or 3 of those positions. Is that worth its weight in gold?
Definitely, 100% worth the weight in gold. And also we've got lads, like young lads coming through. You know, I spoke about the academy lads coming through there. You know, we've got a good academy set up now. So we've got some good, really, really good young players coming through there that we're not scared to put in. You know, young Charlie Hall, at the minute he's got a little slight problem with his knee. Some good players. Anjola, Papula, he'll get his chance. He took it at Tranmere and scored a goal in the Bristol Street Motors. So, you know, there's young lads coming through that we're not scared to put in, me and Jed.
There was a lot of emphasis, understandably, put on the young players coming into the new season after so many of them were involved tail end of last year. Has it been a frustration to you that, for various reasons, I was thinking about Dan Martin being out injured for a long period, has it been a frustration that you don't have more of those young players week in, week out in your starting 11? I appreciate Conor O'Brien's been playing, but a lot of the rest of them you mentioned there, and Alex Henderson as well, substitutes or not in the squad. Yeah,
I mean, it's putting them in as well, so when they do get the chance, I mean, you know, Alex Henderson is a top player, isn't he? We all know that. We've seen what he delivered last year. You know, and he's got to wait his chance. That might come tomorrow. You just never know. You know, he came on against Walsall, done a really, really good job. He wanted to try and win the game. We didn't win the game. We drew the game. So I always look at it in terms of you've either got to change something in terms of your attacking sense, because defensively you've kept out a clean sheet. So, you know, the likes of Hendo's got up by this time. You had young Josh Smith on the bench on Saturday. He's a good defender for us. So I think they've got to bide the time. They've got to keep doing all the right things. They've got to conduct themselves right off the pitch. They've got to make sure they're ready, because when the chance comes, they've got to take it.
And the loan players, we've talked about having the 6 and only being able to play 5. I know with no Batty that kind of has resolved itself in the short term.
Yeah.
Is it just a simple fact that you have to bring in players who are more ready, and that these loan players who are more ready for it, therefore they play?
Yeah, well, that's it. I think if anyone's more ready, whatever that is, whether it's a youth team player, a 21 player, or someone that you have to bring, they have to be ready. And if they're not ready, it's pointless bringing them in. So the younger ones that are ours and that we see day to day, and that Lee Camp and Luke see day to day, then we know that you can put them in. They're going to be maybe ready for 1 or 2 games, and then you have to dip them out, because they are young lads and they are learning still the game from a tactical and technical point of view, really. And
just a couple of personnel things. Is Conor O'Brien going to be back with you for his international duty?
Conor's going to be back, yeah. Sean was running today, Sean Worley, which is good. So we'll see how he is. I'm going to speak to the physios in a bit.
And I think Batty's the only other one that you're probably going to do without.
Jake's nearly there as well. Again, I'll speak to the physios on that one when we finish this.